everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to the dig. Let's play. So, we didn't get very far in the first recording, 30 minutes to go through a pretty cinematic intro and a lot of backstory and a lot of characterization of the characters. Let's hope we can actually get to our first real puzzle and actually do some point and click adventuring in this game. So we're literally like one screen away from where we started. I don't think that there's actually a reason to just
Robbins. Come in, Robbins.
talk to Robbins.
This is Robbins.
And Brink here. I think he's Brink, yeah. Over again.
Just want to make sure you're having a wonderful time, Robbins.
I'm
Let's
very happy, Commander Lowe.
See, we already had these conversations
I hope
before.
You're still happy, Robbins.
I'm very happy, Commander Lowe.
So, it took us quite a lot of asking questions and saying something profound to get these to the blue state of there's nothing new to say.
What do you think of our archaeologist?
We already asked about Brink.
I'm very impressed with his experience. He headed the U.S. Geological Survey team that mapped the surface of Venus.
He'll be taking a close look at the asteroid to make certain the detonation points they've chosen are suitable.
So it's not like there's new conversation just because I moved a scene. The only thing new is the nuclear explosives thing, so I can ask her about the nuclear explosives even though that's his job.
I'll bet you make the pig the hero of the story, Robbins.
So far, it has the most attractive personality.
I was making a joke, Robbins.
I know, Commander. So was I.
So we do have some new pig stuff to call.
Interview with a pig.
No, that's the title I'm using for the article about you.
I want you to know I'm very proud of my pig American heritage.
And pigs everywhere are proud of you, Commander Lowe.
So I guess you could probably run through this game and miss a lot of dialogue. I've certainly done that with a lot of games. But I kind of don't want to. The dialogue here is going to probably be one of the most important aspects of this game.
Kind of strange thinking of nuclear explosives as precision instruments, isn't it?
I think it's a nice change, compared to thinking of them as weapons.
Oh, I see. That's your story angle. Nukes to save the world instead of destroy it.
That's way too long to be the headline, Commander. More likely it'll be Nukes Save World. Or maybe Nukes blast Attila off course.
I thought it would be space aliens plot to abduct astronauts, destroy Earth with giant rock.
Apparently my career is amusing to you, Commander.
Why is it I can tease everybody on this crew except you?
Because they know you like them, Commander.
I like you, Robbins.
No, you don't.
Interesting. More characterization.
Let's blow up a planetoid together sometime, Robbins.
Oh, you think of the most romantic ideas.
You're kidding. That's the first time I've teased you and you didn't bite my head off.
That was the first time you didn't make fun of my profession.
Interesting.
Blow out.
So we can, I guess, in every scene introduce a few new conversation pieces, but there still might be a lot of redundancy here.
Brink. Come in, Brink. Brink here. I read you.
Like,
Do you see any problems, Brink?
As you Americans might say, Commander, we will kick Attila's butt.
so
Let me know if you see
the
anything
game
unusual
doesn't
with the asteroid.
save these blue states,
No
unfortunately.
problems yet, Commander.
That's the big issue here. So if I go click and talk to Robbins again, they won't be blue anymore.
What do you think of our star reporter?
Very unorthodox, bringing a reporter on a space mission. But she is very capable, and she
These
writes
3 lines
interesting
of
stories.
dialogue were completely the same as last episode,
Keep an eye on the pig,
although
okay?
there was a lot more.
Don't want it drifting off into space.
I travel all this way and I end up as a swine herder.
The explosive charges haven't been bumped or anything, have they, Brink?
Alpha charge and beta charge are both doing fine, Commander. Blow out.
So that's them two. The comms I could use to talk to the other two. So we have Borden, the pilot.
Borden? Come in, Borden.
I'm here, boss.
And there's this little red dot. I wonder if that's actually going to plant the nuclear explosives.
Let me know if you notice something that would change our mission parameters.
Sure thing, boss. Right now, Attila's sleeping like a baby.
Reading a good book while we're working hard?
Watch it, boss. I couldn't live without you.
Yeah, but you'd miss me, kid. How's our little piggy?
Ugly as ever, but Cora might have a different opinion.
Give us the go-ahead on the explosives, Ken.
Plant alpha charge in quadrant 2. Make sure you get it on a level surface so Attila blows in the right direction.
So, quadrant 2, we now
Blow out.
know what to do. We can talk to Miles.
Load a payload over.
Miles here.
I just want you to know you've got my vote, Cora.
Well, ain't you sweet?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have much to do with her
I'll miss you when I
anymore.
can't take you with me on missions like this.
Don't get sentimental
Her
on me,
main
boss.
job was just to release the pig
Besides,
from
there
the
won't be any more missions.
bay. And she's done that
How's
in
the
the
pig?
last recording.
Just fine, Boston, but still a little stuffed.
How are we looking, Cora?
Taking a grand tour before you get to the target site, Boston?
So,
Low, over
there we
and out.
go. We've talked to everybody. No reason to play Asteroid Lander. So now I guess we just click on the pig. Again, makes sense to probably pixel hunt a little bit. I didn't click on the asteroid. Let's see what happens when I click on space. Oh, you just walk that way. So quadrant 4, quadrant 3, quadrant 2, quadrant 1. Well, in quadrant 1, we need to go to quadrant 2. Interesting. Let's click on the pig and see what we can do with it. And then I guess we do need to go to quadrant 2. Let's see. Inside of it, we have explosive unit alpha. And what was it? A 0G digger. Can we put it away? Take this here. And take this here. And take a shovel. And so it's an actual tool chest full of tools. Nothing else here except for the American flag. So how do we go back out? This way. Again, the game is not giving you a lot of direction. This is an old school point and click adventure if you've ever seen one. It's like, just figure it out. I could go to the shuttle too. Interesting. Just no direction here. Quadrant 4 has nothing. Interesting. So we go back to space. And I'll talk to the guy again just to make sure. That was quadrant 3 anyways. I'll talk to the guy again to make sure I know what I'm doing. quadrant 4 now has nothing. It is just a big asteroid. So quadrant 2 is where the alpha charge goes. I think is what he said, but I'll double check. Again, this is potentially a game where if I did it wrong, I could just game over. And I'm not gonna play this game in a style of trying to find every way to die. That would be a pain in the butt. Call Borden.
Borden? Come in, Borden.
I read you low. What is it?
Again, all the buttons are back to normal.
We need to fire the housekeeper. The ground is rough and broken all over the target site.
Aw, shucks, and we forgot the vacuum cleaner. Better use the zero-G digger.
We're gonna use the
That's one
zero-G
expensive
digger.
Whatever works. Just be careful. Don't dig out your own toe or anything.
Okay.
Low out.
So instead of repeating himself, we've got the target surface here, and not use a shovel, use the zero gravity digger. I guess before using anything I should probably examine these items.
It's like a jackhammer, but for space.
Notice we have not...
It's a specially designed explosive charge engineered to help move the asteroid into a safe orbit.
Sorry. Notice we have not clicked on a single thing and just gotten text responses. The only time that's happened is in the asteroid minigame. Everything else, if you examine it, you get internal monologue of the character talking to himself, explaining things that's fully voiced.
It's a specially designed explosive charge engineered to help move the asteroid into a safe orbit.
It may be repetitive, but that's what I want.
Regulation NASA pocket
every
shell.
point
Every astronaut
in Click
should have.
Adventure, really. If particularly, I don't want half measures like in the Silent Age. It seems so ridiculous that 90% of all the dialogue and stuff is just written on the screen.
Let's see if we can clear up old Attila's complexion.
I mean, by default, you don't even have the subtitles on in this game. It would have been you would have had to hear
Nice
what
and
they
smooth
said.
down.
So we use the zero-G digger and unit alpha. I guess we'll just run the risk of being wrong here.
Shuttle, this is low. We're placing the explosive in quadrant 2.
Acknowledged.
Could you give me a hand with this, Brink?
I'll be right there, Commander Low.
So we haven't gotten to the sci-fi of this too much yet. It's almost science and barely
Excellent
any
work,
fiction.
Ken, the charge is set.
Instruments confirmed. Hey, I'm just so proud of you boys.
So we have explosive unit alpha here.
It's explosive device alpha.
So now let's go talk to the guy and figure out which quadrant we're supposed to put beta in.
Load aboard, do you copy?
How do you think I passed my NASA exams?
Good
Give
joke.
us the go-ahead on the explosives, Ken.
Plant beta charge in quadrant 3. Make sure you get it on a level surface so Attila blows in the right direction.
So we
Low
get that
out.
hint. We probably didn't need the hint. There probably is only a location in quadrant 3. I suppose we can go to space and look at quadrant 4 instead and see if there actually was an option to make a mistake here. So as far as asteroids go, in comparison to them, assuming they're not really far out when they moved in and out towards it, like, it doesn't look like it's that big of an asteroid, really. It doesn't look like That's a terrible, terrible one. One of the movies that was very similar to this, the asteroid was the size of Texas. In comparison, this looks like it's the size of less than a mile. Really. The amount of thrust and oxygen in these units, if they were realistic, would not be enough to get them around a large asteroid. That's one of the things in Kerbal Space Program too, that there's a cheat. There's a ridiculous amount of thrust and unlimited oxygen in the suits they're wearing. Right, so here's a boulder. There's a boulder. There's two boulders. Let's go ahead and use a shovel on the boulder. I think I can figure this out.
Cora, Ken, I'm jamming the shovel in under the boulder, then using maximum down thrust to pry it up. Does that sound workable?
Well, I'm a little short on data about the tensile strength of shovel handles in 0G under maximum thrust conditions. In other words, who knows? It might work.
Boss, be careful. If the handle breaks, maximum down thrust will smash you right into Attila. You know the saying, whether the stone hits the glass or the glass hits the stone, it ain't gonna hurt the stone.
Thanks for the encouragement, Ken. Brink, if this actually works, the boulder's going to come flying straight at you. Better fly clear.
Thanks for the warning.
So yeah, this is a really bad idea.
Looks like it worked.
Now, aren't you glad I made sure the tool chest had a shovel in it? My rule is, if you can pick it up, take it with you, because you never know when you might need it.
Good rule for a
I
point-and-click
had the same
adventure.
rule, Cora, but I thought it only applied to women in bars.
I'm really liking this dialogue. It's well written.
Careful, Ken. You don't want to find yourself getting quoted as a sexist pig in Maggie's article. I'm not here to spy on you.
Lighten up, Robbins. They're just teasing you. If they thought you were really a spy, they'd never talk freely on the open frequency.
So we have no more boulders. So just one boulder there. One would assume now I need to use the 0G digger on it. Wow, I just put it in another square. Interesting option.
No need. The target's ready for the explosive charge.
Ah, don't even need to do it. Good. Put it away. Take the explosive charge. Let's blow up an asteroid. See, as you can kind of see already, there's obviously going to be more to the story. Otherwise, this is going to be an incredibly short game. We're ready to blow up the asteroid. We've only seen two scenes.
The asteroid in quadrant 3.
Acknowledged.
I need another hand here, Brink.
Of course, Commander.
Why does he need a hand placing the explosives? I don't know. So we've done it, haven't we? So the right move is to find our way back to space and find our way back to the shuttle and then set off the charges. That makes, well,
Let's head back to the shuttle, folks.
are we gonna take the pig with us? That'd be a little sad to leave it. He feels like he's part of the family. And there's nothing here, so I feel like we're safe enough to probably call him and say activate the charges.
Borden, this is low. Do you read?
This is Borden.
I don't think we need to ask any questions. I don't think we need to say something profound.
You ready for us to part company, Ken?
Everything's in position, boss.
So let's just talk about the nuclear explosions.
Give us the go-ahead on the explosives, Ken.
Arm the firecrackers and let's go.
Oh yeah, I forgot to arm them.
Blow out.
Oops.
Let's head on back to the surface, folks.
I hope we finish up this time.
We're getting comments here as a hint. I placed them and just stupidly assumed that they were armed, but I remember now there was an arming key in my inventory when we even started the game. So take this, put it here, take this, put it here, take this. Explosive unit beta, armed.
Look at the pretty red light, boys and girls. I'd say this charge is armed.
Now we go back to space. And we'll go to quadrant 2. Little herky-jerky movements in a diagonal direction. Take this. I actually like this pixelated. Oh, I guess I could show items to people too. No real reason to, but that would just add so much extra dialogue that's not really necessary.
I think you should hold on to that.
Yeah, and it probably is just gonna say the same thing to every time.
It's just the arming key, Commander.
But I really think you could do this artistic style as a single person, or as a two-person team to make a game in 2016, and you could do it better because you can do it at a higher resolution at 1080p, 4K, 8K, and it would look a lot better and still maintain the general feeling.
Has a pair of landing lights now, kids. Stick a fork in us, we're done.
Who writes your material, Commander?
I get it all out of the newspapers, Robbins.
See, and when you have such a low pixel count, you have to make so many decisions in the animation. If we just look here, you see a clear diagonal black line to indicate the arm versus the leg, and it's just not smooth. By modern resolution sizes, you could easily fix that. Here, the 256 color limit makes it so they have to pick each square's color very specifically to add shading and perspective to it. It's very important to just have bright colored hair because you don't want the brown hair to mix with the face. It doesn't even seem like you can barely see eyes half the time, or a nose, because of just the low resolution there. But you don't need to go into Unreal or Blender, two programs that are used to make modern video games, and create a 3D model of your characters. It's nice if you can do that. It's definitely a skill you would want to develop. But if all you can really do is draw in Paint or hand draw and scan it into Photoshop and make little pixelated characters, you could still tell your story and make your game, in my opinion. Even today. This would just be, you could just call this nostalgic animation style, and old people like me will probably want to still play it. Can we put the shovel back in? Nope. So I think we're leaving the pig, unfortunately. I don't have any other way to control it. I don't have a remote control or an option on my penultimate device. So it looks like we're just blowing it up. And then if you put voice acting in it, and you have good voice actors, that certainly helps quite a lot. I'm not saying it's necessary for point-and-click
Let's head back to the
adventures,
shuttle and watch Attila do the old fire dance.
but it's super helpful. That being said, I don't think you should try to do your own voice acting in games. I don't think that's gonna ever sound right. I've never seen a video game programmer that also had like classical acting skills or stage skills or movie skills or voice acting skills, all of which are slightly different. But I've never seen a video game programmer have anything close to any of those skills, and they sound really bad, their microphone's really bad. There's a lot of work there that you don't see. I guess that's a pun, unintended, but in voice acting. And I think you really need to hire out for that, and that's probably beyond a single or small team of video game makers, unless they get kick-started, unless they do something else. There's nothing here to click on, so I assume what I need to do is call the guy again. That's what I tried to do before, but I didn't arm him.
Gordon, this is Lowe. Do you read?
This is Borden.
So let's call Borden and...
Both nukes are in place and armed. We made pretty good time, I think.
We did it.
Looks good, boss. Come on back inside for the fireworks.
Obviously there's more to this game. Otherwise this is our
All in,
shortest game ever. It would be really, really bad
All clear, landing team.
All clear, shuttle.
if this was the entire game and it looked this ambitious and this good looking for a 25-year-old game. That would feel very disappointing. It's real hard to get size perspective in space. So I think the asteroid looks really, really small to me, but it could be huge.
The explosives armed. Houston gives us the go-ahead. Say when, boss.
Do it. Now let's see, is it the big green triangle or the little red circle?
Shut up and push, Ken. My baby's getting impatient.
Here we go. We have detonation, alpha and beta.
What are the instruments showing?
Nothing big coming our way.
What's the pig telling us, Cora?
Attila's still in one piece. There's a lot of seismic bounce, some fracturing. We're stable again. Radioactivity in Quadrant 1 is well within the safe range.
What does Houston say, Ken?
Everything's go for a surface walk at your option.
Then let's go, landing team. Let's see what Attila looks like after plastic surgery. Be careful, kids. Attila is more dangerous now than before we tamed him.
Those were certainly profound first words to speak on Earth's new moon.
I'm not making speeches, Robbins. I'm concerned about keeping everybody alive.
Commander, I can collect rock samples later. Right now, I would like to get below the surface down into that tunnel.
We're gonna do it eventually. We might as well do it now. You agree, Robbins?
I'm game for it.
I've called the pig. We'll send it on ahead to light the way.
Remember, any rock may be loose, and any wall may collapse at any time.
Please be careful, everyone. Cora, send down the pig, please. We'll need the light.
So I thought they were gonna just blow it up into smaller pieces, but it feels like instead they maybe stabilized its orbit. That's what they're indicating if it's Earth's new moon. I don't know.
You see anything unusual, Brink?
It's hard to determine how this tunnel was formed.
It wasn't created by the explosion.
No, it's very ancient. The explosions opened the door, but this tunnel... old, but not as old as the asteroid.
What does that mean?
I don't know yet.
Well, of course,
It just
it would
feels
be not as old as the
unnatural.
asteroid.
There are some odd projections near the bottom of this tunnel that don't seem to belong here.
I doubt that unless the asteroid and the tunnel were created at the exact same time, it would have to be that the tunnel was created later, because you can't make a tunnel in something that doesn't exist. Interesting that it's taking us this long to get this far. Maybe I'm playing a little slow, I guess, but it is rather strange. Uh, Obviously more investigation is gonna happen here, but we'll have to do it in the next recording. I'm gonna run out of save slots. Let's see. How many save slots does this game in this version allow? 100. Well, one shy of 100 at least. So we may end up using, I doubt we'd use all 100, but that is strange. It is really strange I'm moving so slow. I'll probably start picking up the pace. If I remember correctly, eventually we stop interacting as much with our crew members and we start interacting more with just the world and all of that. Uh, but yeah, the story is going really good. I would, however, give it some criticism for just not laying things straight to me, not explaining it simply enough, because I swore I really thought that either something was going to go horribly wrong when we blew up the asteroid, and that was going to cause more of the story to happen, but the intent was to blow up the asteroid, and it seems now that the intent was never to 100% break it into pieces and then be done with the mission. It seems like we were just blowing up an outer shell or stabilizing an orbit, and now we've got more work to do, which I don't know what more work we're supposed to do. We don't have any more explosions or anything on it. Uh, so I don't know what we're really doing. Maybe we're just investigating and we'll report back to NASA what we find. Anywho, we'll have to figure out what's going on a little bit more in the next recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.